Tonight, an abrupt reversal from President Trump on tariffs, sending stocks soaring.
I think it probably came together early this morning. It was written from the heart. We don't want to hurt countries that...
Man, my theory on this is that I think this is a tactic by Trump to intentionally put tariffs on these countries so that the stock market could tank and then they can get buybacks. So his robber baron buddies could get buybacks. That's my, theory on that. Then, then he said, I'm a positive. Then he goes back up like, oh God, it's kind of like that thing where like you're in a relationship with somebody or a friendship and they always play games. Like they say they're gonna do something, then they don't do it, then you be upset. That's how this is. Like, yeah. Oh God. And then the craziest thing is this man didn't tell his trade representative, whoever the fuck that guy was, that he was pausing them. Like he didn't tell him before he tweeted it out. Like, oh God. Man, 4 years of this. 4 years of me covering this, man. I said to myself, I don't want to talk about Trump as much. I want to talk about like how to build shit, build community and, strategize and, but I mean, like you kind of like your hands kind of force feed to talk about this shit. So, all right, back to this shit. Jeez.
don't need to be heard, and they all want to negotiate.
At 1:18 p.m., the president posting he would pause virtually all of his new global tariffs for 90 days. Within minutes, Dow stocks soared more than 2,000 points, closing up nearly 3,000. The president saying 75 countries that reached out to negotiate lower U.S. tariffs would be rewarded with that 3-month pause to work out individual trade deals. Their baseline tariff reduced to 10%.
They will be fair deals for everybody, but they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that.
But the president also announcing imports from China would be slapped with an even higher 125% tariff after.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All of the European countries, back down to 10%. But China, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, 125%. And then China took gloves off, man. But I'm gonna let it continue.
After China raised tariffs on American products from 34 to 84%. The president blasting China for retaliating instead of negotiating. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer is in Beijing.
At this point, China's government has made it clear it's not interested in negotiation, saying they have both the will and abundant means to fight a trade war with the U.S.
Currently, American businesses sell just $143 billion worth of goods to China, while China sells $438 billion of products to the U.S., a record $295 billion.
So basically, like, all of our shit literally comes from China, based on that statistic they gave right there. And oh God, so phones finna be over $1,000. Like, that's a given right there, man. Cell phones, laptops, everything that's made, made in China will be triple the price. Like, we have to pay for that. Oh, God. Man, oh man, tell you, boy.
Trade deficit. The White House blames China's high tariffs and trade barriers on American products, saying Trump's new tariffs level that playing field.
China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it.
Meanwhile, the president's move came after prominent.
Yeah, he's delusional. He's ultra delusional. The reporter that was in Beijing said that China don't want to negotiate. This guy lies so much. It's like him and other politicians as well. It's not just Trump, but they lie so much they don't even know they're lying. Like, bro, if China wanted to make a deal, they'd probably got in touch with you and said make a deal, dude. But they slapped 84% tariffs on our stuff. So I mean, on us. So because of you, buffoon, like we have to pay for brand new electronics gonna be quadrupling what they worth. Oh God.
Business leaders, including JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, warn the tariff turmoil could spark a recession.
I am going to defer to my economists at this point, but I think probably that's a likely outcome.
Tonight, Republicans praising the focus on China,
This is a big win for Trump, and it's a big win for America.
while Democrats blasted the president's sudden shifts.
This chaos seems to be just a game for Donald Trump, but it is really real, very real, for people's lives, people's livelihoods.
And Gary,
Yeah, shut up. Shut up. The man cooked the Trump. So yeah, that's that. I'm finna read the article. Let me see. It says how Trump changed his mind on tariffs. It says, close that, make it a little bit bigger because, that's crazy. Even I got ad block on, I still see ads. Oh man, they don't get you a watch, get you a rinse. But anyway, it says Liberation Day just gave way to Catapultion Day. Donald Trump pulled back Wednesday on a series of harsh tariffs targeting friends and foes alike in a um, um, audacious bid to remake the global economic order. Trump's early afternoon announcement, followed by a harrowing week in which Republican lawmakers and confidants privately warned him that the tariffs could wreck the economy. His old aides had quietly raised alarms about the financial markets before he suspended a tariff regime that he had unveiled with a flourish just 1 week earlier in the Rose Garden ceremony. So yeah, I told y'all behind the scenes, man. Like these motherfuckers, they said, Trump, like bro, like we're gonna be in a recession if you impose these tariffs on all of these countries, except for China, because China's it's the enemy to us. That's good. But other countries, oh yeah, also to China, most of our imports come from China, so it still will be kind of bad, what I mean. But let me continue. Um, it says, um, it says the stock market rose immediately after the about face ending days of losses that have forced older Americans who've been sinking into their savings into 401ks to think about their retirement plans. Like, like this man was also gonna fuck with these people, fuck with these retirees' money, bro. Like a 401k is based in the stock market. Jesus Christ. It says ahead of Trump's announcement, some of his advisors have been in a near panic about the bond markets, according to a senior administration official. Interest rate on 10-year Treasury bonds have been rising, contrary to what normally happens when stock prices fall and investors seek safety in treasuries. The unusual dynamic meant that at the same time the tariffs could push up prices, people will be paying more to buy homes, pay off credit card debt because of higher interest rates. Businesses looking to expand will pay more for new loans. Yeah, I mean, already now we paying more as it is because of corporate greed, but these tariffs that Trump imposing will give these blood suckers more of a reason to jack up prices. And also too, prices will jack up anyway because Trump is um, deporting immigrants because immigrants build homes and pick out pick pick out pick vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like I mean, a recession, despite the tariffs or not, I think yeah, our economy is gonna be fucked. It's gonna be fucked even more. I mean, the economy is not great. See, the economy is great right now for the capitalists, the billionaire oligarchs, but for the poor people, yeah, ask a lot of people, like ask Thai peasant, aka Liz, for example. Like she'll tell you how the economy doing for her, or other people on Twitter. That I know a lot of people he'll watch, on Twitter. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people on Twitter always talk about their day-to-day lives, and it's not good. And this one comrade is homeless right now. So yeah, the economy is bad for the working class. Let me continue. It says two of Trump's most senior advisors, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, presented a united front Wednesday, urging him to suspend the tariffs in light of the bond market. The administration officials said. That's crazy, man. They must have promised Trump something. They say you have to talk to Trump like he's a little child. Like I better say, Trump, Trump, um, if these tariffs stand, like it'll probably say it hurt his image, which Trump loves a good image of himself. So, oh God, I'm gonna read a little bit more of this. It says, in a social media post, Trump announced a 90-day pause that he said we used to negotiate deals with dozens of countries that have expressed openness to reversing trade terms that he contends exploit American business and workers. One exception is China. Of course, Trump upped the tariffs on the country's biggest geopolitical rival to 125%, part of a tit-for-tat escalation in an evolving trade war. Like, my thing is, if, you imposing tariffs on the biggest importer, our biggest importer, yeah, like a recession is imminent anyway. Oh God. Along with the other stuff I just said earlier. It says Trump reversed course 1 week after he appeared in the Rose Garden and unveiled his plan to bring jobs back to the United States. That's a lie. Displaying a chart showing the new elevated tariffs that countries will face, Trump proclaimed, "My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day." Yeah. Like, yeah, you had Ben Shapiro, like, rebuttal you on that. Like, wow. It was proved short-lived. Markets plunged in anticipation of heightened trade wars, wiping out trillions of dollars in wealth. Democrats seized on the issue, looking to undercut a source of Trump popular appeal, the view that he can be trusted to steer the nation's economy. Um, Trump's Donald Trump's market crash has vaporized a whopping $104,000 from the average retirement account. Um, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said Wednesday on Senate floor, hours before Trump's reversal. The episode laid bare the risk within Trump's team of senior advisors as White House struggled to offer a clear, consistent argument about the duration of the tariffs. While Bessent seemed open to negotiations, Peter Navarro, a senior trade advisor, appeared to take a more hardline posture. See, this is what it is about Trump. See, Trump thinks that by placing tariffs on shit, he thinks that it will make him look good because he's putting his foot down and forcing jobs back to the United States when it's the opposite. Like, first of all, like, blame NAFTA and the TPP for pushing jobs overseas in the first place. Those jobs are not coming back because those countries are benefiting from it. So, like, and then those countries are not going to pay for those tariffs that Trump imposed. So yeah, it means that we have to pay for that. So it makes you look bad, and I guess his advisors have to tell him, like, in layman's terms, like, this will make you look bad, and then people lost $104,000 out of their 401ks. Yeah, man, if I lost $104,000, ooh boy, Liberation Day, my ass, boy. I'm telling you that. It says, uh, Elon Musk, the billionaire Tesla CEO, who has been advising Trump on the government workforce, called Navarro dumber than a sack of bricks, while Navarro described Musk as someone who's merely a car assembler in many cases. Oh God. But the week-long drama has also underscored a parallel policy-making process that's often tied to the wishes and vagaries of one man Trump. Acts about the dust-up between Musk and Navarro, Senator Lindsey Graham, a golf partner of Trump's, of course, right? That's all Trump do, golf. I don't think it matters. The only one who matters is Trump. Um, it says markets tend to favor predictability, as do businesses leaders deciding where to build new plants. When Trump sets a course, however, there are no bound to be detours. A friend of his spoke to him in recent days, said Trump gave no sign he was about to back down quickly on this stuff. Well, apparently Trump did back down because, um, they had to tell him like, hey, yo, this gonna make you look bad. You better stop. You better end this shit. You better end this shit. Then he said 90 days. Like, bro, like even I remember his first term when he imposed tariffs in China. Like, bro, I paid almost $800 for a washing machine, which I probably a few years before prior to that I could have got one for $400. So I paid double. So I don't want to know how much a washing machine will cost now. I don't tend to buy the cheap shit. I want to buy shit that last me a while because I buy me a cheap washing machine. It lasts what 2 years. Then I have to keep buying them. Like that's what they want us to do. But at least you know back then a good one would be about $400. Sometimes you get a good deal, like you buy a washer and dryer as a set for $400. Not anymore. Not thanks to Trump and these tariffs. Uh, so yeah, man. I'm finna get to the next story, guys. All right, guys. Before I get to this next segment, be sure to like the video. It's free and don't cost you nothing. So like the video. It helps us out a lot. And thank you guys for subscribing to us. We're not that far from 1,300 subscribers on YouTube, so that's big. You know, like it's a lot of other channels y'all could go to, but y'all choose to subscribe to us. We put in the work. So thank you guys so much for that. So, all right, guys. So China don't take no mess. Man, China ain't China. China said they ain't bullshit. Like, see, China know that U.S. been bullshitting for a long time. Like, trying to escalate wars and shit with China. Like, if we went to war with China, like, China will whoop our ass. I'm just saying, like, they will literally whoop our ass. And then, according to Mike, Left Indy of the ATP nigger, he says our military is like 75% capacity. Like, you need at least about 90%, 95%, 75% capacity. And that's because of COVID. So, yeah. But not that type of war, trade war. Yeah, I got a series of videos and an article for y'all to look at along with me. So here we go. Oh boy, this is wild.
Is China coming to the table or not?
Well, which table are you talking about? If they're coming into the ring to fight and take off the gloves and fight back, yes, they're going to be doing that. China has been fairly measured so far, and Xi Jinping essentially telling his government to remain calm until now. I think they had probably taken a little bit too many punches themselves, and finally 34% that takes effect on all U.S. goods imported into China on April 10th. So mid this week, there are a number of different export controls. They've added some defense companies to their so-called blacklist, the entity list. They are banning chicken imports from some American companies, sorghum from one American companies. Also, again, those rare earths, further restrictions on the outflow of rare earths with China control.
Damn, son, chicken. Black folk love chicken. And China said, nah, bruh. Nah. No chicken for you. Like, China is not bullshitting. Like, y'all heard what he said. China is not bullshitting. Like, China said, hey, you gonna put 125% tariffs on us? Well, on your people, then hell, we'll put another 84% on top of that. And fuck with the minerals. Jeez.
Controls a large swath of them for the tech supply chain. Danny was just talking about Apple. That is a good example of how these Trump tariffs do affect American companies who, after their first trade war with China, diversified to the so-called China Plus One strategy, Apple in particular, making iPhones and Macs and other products in India, in Thailand, in Indonesia, Vietnam, and of course Taiwan, a huge part of the tech supply chain. All of them getting sizable tariffs from the Trump administration. So it's going to be a balancing act, obviously, for China as it tries to rebalance its economy to boost.
I told y'all, man. Hey, I I told y'all, like, yeah, Apple, yeah. I think of the iPhone, yep, man. Yeah, and you know what? My speculation is the reason why the iPhone 16E, I think S, whatever the fuck they call it. I guess they budget phone. That's why it costs $600 when it used to be like 400. So yeah, like these terrorists and shit, like told you, the cost passed down onto us, not to them. And yeah,
boost domestic consumption, to take up its excess industrial overcapacity. You have to watch what the markets are going to do today, because the markets here in Hong Kong and in China onshore were on holiday on Friday. They didn't take the brunt like the U.S. markets did on Friday. And also you have to watch the yuan. The onshore yuan, the currency, essentially weakening to its lowest level since February. And that is one concern, that they could potentially, and they haven't so far, they've kept the yuan stable, they could potentially weaponize the yuan and weaken the yuan further.
okay, so that's that. I got another. Share my screen again. Let me see. Uh, this is from MSDNC. MSDNC. Um, so here we go.
More now on the president's threat against China to impose an extra 50% tariff on goods imported into the U.S. if Beijing doesn't withdraw its 34% counter tariff. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer is in Beijing for us and has the latest on how China is reacting. Janice?
China responded to President Trump's threat of additional tariffs with defiance and its own threat of countermeasures to fight a trade war with the U.S. to the end. If President Trump goes through with what he has vowed, this additional 50% tariffs on all Chinese goods going into the U.S., that's 104% on anything consumers buy from China. Clothing, shoes, car parts, toys, tech, household goods, the list goes on. China is very...
And also, too, I just thought about it, like running shoes, because I'm a runner. I'm gonna be paying about what, $250 for shoes thanks to these tariffs. Like, see, this is the shit I'm saying. And I think China said, look, we let the U.S. talk all this shit, for the longest time, but since y'all got like Kickabillo said, the orange boogeyman think he being Mr. Tough Guy with these tariffs, we're gonna impose our own tariffs and restrict resources. Oh shit.
very clear in saying it will not back down from imposing countermeasures to what officials here call U.S. blackmail. They see negotiation as legitimizing President Trump's trade blitz that is hitting manufacturing hubs right across Asia. Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, South Korea, they're all signaling they want to negotiate with the U.S., though talks, it seems, are no guarantee of getting tariff relief. Here, a spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed there are no talks at any level between the U.S. and China over trade, saying, quote, the U.S. lacks a genuine willingness to engage in serious dialogue. Now, before the markets opened here today, the government unleashed a series of measures to help stabilize the stock market, including share buybacks by several state-owned companies. They're known here as China's national team, and that helped the markets close higher. The deadlines, though, are piling on now. All these back-to-back tariffs are set to take effect over the next 48 hours and threaten to disrupt trade, supply chains, and ultimately raise prices for U.S. consumers down the road. Janice Mackey-Frayer, NBC News.
I heard that. Like, this is why I'm playing these videos. Like, a lot of people don't understand what these tariffs would do. Like, you think shit high now, and trust me, it's high. It's because of corporate greed, but these tariffs will get these corporations a bigger reason why to raise prices. And, my other conspiracy theory is that, again, like Trump doing this to benefit his robber baron buddies. Because China, see the other countries, yeah, like cars, more cars come from there, some clothes, stuff come from other countries that Trump did the 90-day pause on. But China, like everything we fucking own, I bet everything in this house almost comes from China. In my house right now, and now if I need something new, I'm gonna have to pay quadruple the price. Like, yeah, so it's crazy.
Beijing.
Joining us now is Ned Price, a former senior State Department and CIA official. Ned, when China says it will fight to the end, what could that look like?
Well, Anna, it will look like nothing good for American businesses and consumers. We've already heard from your correspondent that with these tariffs set to go into effect, it could double prices of imported.
Quadruple prices, man. And also, too, before I let him continue, I just thought about something like small businesses will be heavily affected by this. People say shop small. Shop small is good. Which is better. I prefer going to a small business, buying my goods and services rather than going to Walmart or Target. But like, because stuff is higher, which means the small business got to pay more for those goods, and they have to, you know, charge us more for that. So yeah, so small businesses might close down because of this, man. Like this shit is wild. It's wild.
Goods from China. Look, Anna, there is no question that the playing field for American consumers and businesses needs to be leveled with China. But there is a smart way to do that, and then there is Trump's way of doing that. And I think it's important to distinguish those two precisely because of what we've heard from Beijing and frankly from Washington over the past week or so. Trump's approach has done nothing but embolden leaders in Beijing. He has really imposed these massive tariffs and a mistaken belief that tariffs are not a means to an end, in other words, leveling the playing field, but really an end unto themselves. And he's given Chinese leaders really no face-saving off-ramp. We often forget that leaders like Chinese President Xi Jinping, while may not be elected in the democratic sense, may not be worried about his next re-election, is worried about his legitimacy and legacy. And Donald Trump has really put him in a corner. And just as you said, as your correspondent said, they're girding for a fight. And ultimately a fight.
Yeah, of course, have to, throw in throw in the dictator-like mentality of cable news. Like, what else is new? But back to
between the U.S. and China on these points will only result in higher prices for American consumers, precisely the effect that Donald Trump says he was elected to counteract.
President Trump did post on Truth Social, quote, China also wants to make a deal badly, but they don't know how to get it started. We are waiting for their call. It will happen, he writes. Does China want a deal? Do you think they'll call President Trump?
Right now, there's no sign of that. And in fact, the entreaties for engagement have really been going in the other.
China knows that. China don't want to negotiate because they see the writing on the wall. They said this, I think, a couple of months ago. They said, "Hey, we ready. United States ready to start some shit. Hey, we ready. We ready for y'all. So they ready for us, man." So, I mean, this is the first step in, yeah. Oh God, man, like this right here is gonna hurt so many people, man. I let it finish, but then I say what I gotta say.
Other direction. It has been the White House that has been quietly signaling for weeks now that they expect a summit meeting between President Trump and President Xi to happen in the coming months. On the other hand, we've heard quite the opposite from Beijing. We've heard whispers, and those who have engaged with Chinese leaders have told us that the Chinese are not interested in engaging until they see an off-ramp. And what President Trump has done, again, to paint President Xi into a corner without giving him any sort of face-saving way out of this, has really left China uninterested in dialogue, at least at this point.
Ned Price.
So So basically, like, I guess, the China's President Xi Jinping is saying like, "Hey, bro, like you slap these tariffs on me without giving me giving me an ultimatum, like, on how to get out of this. So, until your ass realize you wrong, I'm not going to talk to you." That's basically what China is at. And I got one more article right here as well. This Man, you talking about decimation? Like holy shit. Right here. Let's see. It says China just turned off U.S. supplies of minerals critical for defense and clean tech. Like, bro, like you turn off you turn off the minerals to help us for technology, bro. Like when I found this out, I like holy shit. But I'm gonna read it for more context. Let me see. I'm doing. There you go. It says it says in April 2025, while most of the world was clutching pearls over the trade war, tit for tat tariffs, China calmly walked over to the supply chain and yanked out a handful of critical boats. The boats made of dysprosium, tiberium, tungsten, iridium, and uranium, the elements that don't make highlines, but without which your electric car doesn't run. So yeah, like and then Trump is making enemies with our allies that possibly have these elements. So yeah, like electric cars are already expensive, but just China doing this, like a basic electric car probably gonna be what 100K at this point. Like holy shit! Like this is what I'm talking about. Your fighter jet doesn't fly, and your solar panels go from clean energy marvels to overpriced roofing tiles. Damn. There are minerals that show up on obscene government risk registers right before wars. Start a clean tech projects, get quality canceled. Then it says, I've been on a bit of a critical minerals kick recently, starting to understand more about them and their roles in our economy. In addition to reading a lot of books and debunking some numerous nonsense on the subject, I have the privilege of spending 90 minutes with Gavin Mudd, the director of Critical Minerals Intelligence Center at the British Geological Survey. Um, I'm gonna read all that. Read this part. What China did wasn't a ban, at least not in the name. They called it export licensing. Sounds like something a trade lawyer might actually be excited about. But make no mistake, this is a surgical strike. They didn't they didn't need to say no. They just needed to say maybe later to the right set of paperwork. Basically saying Trump needs to stop acting like a fool, then we can get something done here. These licenses give Beijing control over not just where these minerals go, but how fast they go and what quantity into which politically convenient customers. So I got another scenario for y'all too as well. Um, let's say shit. Let's say Germany trades with China with these minerals, and United States need these minerals for your electric car to work or your solar panels to work, and you just go to Germany like, hey Germany, can we get those minerals? And Germany could charge whatever they want because hey, China said nah. China said the fuck with the United States with the minerals, and Germany said hey, you know, we could charge most the most highest price possible. Like, see what I'm saying, man? Like, all of this shit is because of incompetence. Oh God. Let me see. Read this right here. It said the minerals China just restricted aren't random. They're chosen with the precision of someone who's read U.S. product spec sheets and defense procedure orders. Start with dysporium. If your electric motor needs a function at high temperatures, and they all do, then mostly it is using neo neodymium magnets doped with dysprosium. No thermal stability, no function motor in your F-35 or your Mustang Mach-E. First of all, who drives a Mustang Mach-E? I don't know why they don't name an electric car Mustang. Like Mach-E sounds okay, but I guess to sell it. China controls essentially the entire supply of dysprosium, And no, there's no magical mind in Wyoming or Quebec waiting for the wings. If the dysprosium doesn't come out of China, it doesn't come out at all. It's the spinal cord of electrification, and now China holding the vertebrae. So yeah. Again, again, like China will sell this to another country, and United States asked that country for it, and the country said, "Yeah, we're gonna charge you the highest price possible." Um, like, um, and I'll read this. Then there's tungsten, the metal that makes bullets bulletproof. Literally, tungsten is what you use when you need to cut, drill, or punch, or penetrate anything harder than stale marshmallow. The U.S. hasn't produced meaningful products of it since the Obama administration, and China sits on 80% of global production. Well, sure, you can try Vietnam or Portugal, but good luck getting these volumes at scale without waiting years and paying triple. Tungsten isn't just ammunition, it's the tiny vertical connections between layers of circuitry in semiconductor chip, CNC tool machines, and high performance alloys that go into everything from jet engines to deep drilling rigs. When China put tungsten behind a licensing wall, it wasn't targeting one sector, it was targeting the industrial base of specific big country that's trying to regrow precision manufacturing at scale. So yeah, I'm gonna stop right there because I get the point. Like basically, China said the materials that the United States needs to function to build shit. Yeah, we cutting all of that fucking shit off, bruh. Yeah, we cutting all of that shit off. And one more thing too that really, see, it really was got us in this was really started with the Clinton administration. Like, see, this what happens when corporations are so greedy that they'll rather have shit built overseas instead of having shit manufactured here. Like, if we had stuff manufactured in the United States, like, we wouldn't rely on these countries. Like, you'll think that, hey, like, why you think China is the dominant leader in the world right now? In my opinion, it getting close, but I mean, the way it looks like, hey, China owns like significant materials to run basically, cars to fucking rigs, the drill rigs that drill holes in the ground, like. And now that since Trump placed tariffs on every damn thing in China, China said we're gonna place some more tariffs on y'all, plus no access to our minerals. So the word fucked isn't isn't hit no more. It gotta be another word to describe it. Like we like fuck, we beyond fucked at this point, man. Like